Hello and welcome to another episode of FTC Feature, the podcast, where we discuss everything and anything related to FTC in the North Texas region. As always, as you can see, Luisa is not here, the main host, so I'll be taking over as host. And we are joined by Aarush. Aarush, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello.
Is that it?
Hi. Yeah, that's it.
We are going to be your host today, so obviously it's not the normal lineup, but we're still going to make this a really great episode. So first, let's get into some FTC news. So FTC Team 11472 Ravenclaw Robotics is hosting a STEM workshop at the Schimmelpfennig Library on January 8th from 2:15 to 3:45 p.m. It's free and open to kids of all ages, so there will be a sign-up link down below in the description, so you can go check that out. And currently, the R League Meet number 4 is ongoing, and the EP League number 3 will be starting on Friday, January 7th. The first spring qualifier, no pun intended, is right around the corner on January 15th. So if you have not registered for the spring qualifier already, make sure you do that. So today we're going to be joined by our very, very special guests, which is 3 coders from 8565 Technic Bots. So why doesn't each one of you introduce yourselves?
All right. Yeah, I guess I can go first. So I'm the engineering captain on the team, and I've been doing first for this is either my 10th or 11th year now. So it's been a while. And I don't know, first, it's just been a great program. So yeah.
My name is Isaac, and I've been on 8565 for 1 year. It's my rookie year on 8565, but I've been programming for about 5 years now since FLL. And I'm doing autonomous for our team this season.
Hi, I'm Michael. This is my first year in FTC. I'm also a coder, as you said, and I've been in first for 4 years.
Nice, Michael. And for those who don't know, Michael and I were former teammates when we did FLL. Isn't that right, Michael?
Yeah, you were a troll.
yeah, I kind of got carried. It's not part of the story, though. But for the first, going to have 2 segments today. So the first one is going to be about First Global, and the second one is going to be about Freight Frenzy Auto Strats. So let's talk about the first global experience first. And this is really, obviously, since Isaac and Michael are rookie FTC members and were joined 8565 after First Global took place, this is going to be mainly all you, Anthony. So for the general FTC community who may not necessarily know what First Global is, why don't you introduce that to them?
All right, so First Global was basically the Olympics of First Robotics. So typically, the teams who get selected from their countries to represent their country at First Global, typically there's like an actual robot game where they go to like a selected country and destination and play a game. But this year, it was kind of different. So this year, it was all virtual because, COVID, you got to stay virtual. And this year, we basically, instead of working in a robot game, we had the opportunity to work on a problem and solve it. It's being kind of generic, but yeah, that's basically it.
Nice. And so what was this year's prompt?
Yeah, so basically there were 3 parts, but the primary part was the solutions challenge. And the solutions challenge is basically they asked you to pick a problem out of the 4 categories. Let's see, I think they're education, health, environment, and economy. So these for these 4 categories, and you have to come up with a STEM solution to the problem. And there's also like 3 phases, but that's a little bit more complicated. So like you have to first like come up with an idea, then like work together and form an alliance with another team, and then like create a unified solution with the team you allied with.
Okay, so how long is like the first global season?
Let's see, I have it here. So it was from June 27th to September 18th. So that's pretty long.
Quite long. Yeah, quite long.
It's just like basically usually our team like does other stuff during the summer, but this summer is just completely occupied at First Global. But it was pretty great.
Yeah, and it's an honor to have you on because you guys are like basically the best in the country, weren't you? That's why you got nominated.
Yeah, thanks.
So comparatively to FTC, how I guess is difficult is First Global Challenge to FTC, including everything, not just the robot game?
Well, I guess the central part, well, I'm only speaking for this year. This year is kind of different, but I'll just speak for this year. So this year, the central part is the solutions challenge. And I guess the hardest part is just that the challenge is way more open-ended. And that can also be a good thing. But the challenge comes when you just have no clue what you're doing. As like, you have to be, you have to really think out a goal. So like in FTC, the goals are pretty much there for you when you design a robot. And in First Global, you have to come up with your own problem, come up with your own goal, and come up with your own solution.
Right. So let's talk about how you came up with your problem. So what was your thinking process when you first entered First Global?
So basically, they gave us those categories, as I said. But then like our team had like our own meeting where we all proposed which problems to focus down and dig into. And we all just proposed different things. In the end, we filtered it down to a few things. I don't remember exactly how we filtered it, but we just filtered it down to the category of plastic waste, pollution in water. And that's in the environment category.
Yes, and this was the category that you went with, environment, and you ended up doing really, really well in it, right? You got you got second in phase 1, and then it was like first overall, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice. And what was your solution that you did to this problem?
Yeah, so basically our solution is a fully autonomous robot, roughly the size of a fridge, that goes around and collects plastic waste on waterways.
And what was the level of the implementation that you did?
Yeah, so we built out the robot. I mean, is that what you're asking for?
Well, yeah, you built out the robot, but you actually like how far did you test it?
How far did we test it? So I think the farthest we got is just like testing it in a pool, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but like it can still in the future we can expect designs like these to be extended into the real world and actually fix the problem you were saying. And I think that it's great that people of such a young age, obviously you're a little older, but like if Isaac and Michael were here last year, they could have been competing in First Global, which is kind of crazy that people of such a young age are able to do such monumental tasks with even the big shots today are, I guess, confuzzled by. So I say big props to you because you're able to create a really nice design, and looks like you had quite a bit of time, but obviously people who have been doing this for years are not able to find a solution. So obviously you're doing something right?
Yeah.
So what are some ideas that you had, but then you didn't implement? Like, what were some ideas that you like, oh, maybe we could do this, but then you ended up not doing it?
That's a great question. Okay, I think there are a few ideas that we had that we didn't implement. So one of them was this passive collection system. So basically, the robot just sits there, and like there's this weird system where like the robot sucks in water and then it spits out water. But as a result, it can like somewhat passively collect trash. But we realized the power consumption of that thing was too high, and like our own robot just going around and actively like hunting for trash, that seemed like a better solution to us. Oh, also I just want to mention, like our robot was named Plastic Pirate, so basically it just goes around and like hunts and scavenges for plastic to remove from the water.
Oh, this Plastic Pirate, what was it built out of, the robot?
It was built out of PVC pipes, I think, and just like PVC pipes and wood. And then the electronics were a Raspberry Pi. And there was also another fun part to the electronics that involved machine learning with like custom machine learning accelerators that we used for machine learning model inferencing.
So from this, I'm getting that FRC has more, or sorry, not FRC. First Global Challenge has more like design freedom with what you can build and what the control systems are. Is that correct compared to FTC?
Yeah, for sure. I don't remember the exact rules, but like I don't think we ran into any restrictions like on electronics or anything. Like an FTC, in my opinion, it is pretty limiting, like limitation on coprocessors, whatever. But First Global is pretty great in terms of that.
So I heard that you guys I did some light research, and I found out that you guys partnered up with Zimbabwe in First Global Challenge. So why did you partner with Zimbabwe? Like, what led you to the decision?
Yeah, all right. So when the line selection started, I think a few other countries reached out to us because I guess they just think the US is cool. And in my opinion, the US is pretty cool. So we looked at their projects, and in the end, we actually didn't accept any of the countries that reached out to us. And we actually, I think, I don't remember if we reached out to Zimbabwe or they reached out to us. But essentially, the key factor that led us to select them was that their solution was very compatible with ours. So theirs was basically a land version of our robot, but everything else aside from that, it was pretty similar. And so because like it's really easy to integrate these solutions in the next phase, like we didn't want any conflicts. We just chose them and then we stuck with them. So yeah.
And I guess that was a really good decision, as you basically won the whole thing. So
yeah,
I don't think I've said this enough, but congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Yeah, you guys used the CubeSat, right?
Yeah, the CubeSat. So the CubeSat was another portion of First Global. It's not associated with the Solutions Challenge. So yeah, the CubeSat was it's pretty much just something you do for fun. And if you don't mind, I'll go on a little bit of story here. So basically, when we first did the CubeSat, we wanted to do a trial run. So basically, the CubeSat can either be tethered or untethered to the ground. And we let the CubeSat go up 100 meters on a tether. And oh, by the way, the CubeSat, we like packed it full of sensors to like, the temperature, pressure, whatever. Like there were many sensors on it. But anyways, we let it go up a few hundred meters on the tether, and then we pulled it back down. I think we wanted to pull it back down for like the video on the CubeSat. And then unfortunately, while we were preparing for an untethered launch that day, the balloon just like popped because of no reason. It just spontaneously popped. But I guess that's what balloons do. Maybe it was just too hot. And then we had another launch like a week or so later. And this time we didn't in the early morning, so it wasn't too hot. And then we simply launched it, and it was a successful launch to start with. So we planned to just like watch the launch and just hang out for 2 hours. But after a while, we realized that we stopped receiving we stopped receiving pings from the location trackers. We even had 2 location trackers, but they both stopped working, and we just simply never got any of the location trackers back. So maybe the CubeSat went too high and like the location trackers just died from the cold. But basically, currently the CubeSat is still out there in the wild. I think it drifted like northeast of this general area, Plano. So maybe someone will find it because we wrote a phone number on it. But yeah, it's just lost for now.
I hope whoever finds it returns it to you, because I heard that's pretty cool. The CubeSat.
Yeah, it is.
So it'll see cool. Perhaps it'll see the Tesla Roadster. Some of space.
I guess this was specifically with the last challenge, which is the robotics challenge. How did that robotics challenge differ from normal FTC?
Okay, so that robotics challenge, because there's really no way to do like an actual team versus team competition. It wasn't really the central focus of First Global, and I think First Global just made they just made the robotics challenge like pretty simple challenges, like pulling yourself up. So basically things that our team already knows how to do from previous seasons, like launching an object and pulling yourself up to a bar. So It's really just like a few simple tasks because it wasn't the main focus. So yeah, it's not the focus isn't so as much on the robotics challenge.
Yeah, and I guess it's still cool that like you said that it's not much because there was like multiple different challenges, right? There was I think 4 different parts of the robotics challenge, right?
4 different parts of the robotics challenge. I don't
That's what I
exactly
read.
remember how many.
That's what I read, but like you have multiple different tasks and you do it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
you just do multiple different tasks.
Yeah. Cool.
And so during your experience or in the time with First Global, what was like the most like memorable experience? Was it the story you just told us, or is it anything else you want to elaborate?
So I think there's many things I'd like to talk about, but I guess first of all is like the really deep work we were able to do regarding machine learning. So in this first global challenge, we were able to train our own machine learning model. But usually in FTC, you're limited by hardware constraints. And I'm still kind of mad about how they don't let you get superior hardware in FTC. But anyways, I digress. We were able to like get this really special machine learning accelerator, and we even talked to DECA about like a DECA research, which was founded by Dean Kamen, who's also the founder of FIRST. So we talked to that company and engineers, so they advised us about like how to inference and run our machine learning model, and that was just really really amazing because I'm pretty into machine learning myself. So yeah, that'd be it.
It seems pretty fun. I'm not a coding main, but I'm actually learning right now. But it's still
Good
A
for
very
you.
slow pace, might add. A very slow pace.
Hey, don't throw shade. Don't throw shade.
Mm.
It's better learning than not learning, okay, Aarush? And you don't even learn. All you do is stick with your little CAD. You saw you do all day. You just bunker down. You're either on the FTC Discord or on doing CAD. All right. Sorry.
Like 6,900 messages in the FTC Discord.
Oh my god, he actually spends 40% of his life on there.
No, I don't.
Hey, I'll plug my Discord tag. I'm quite active on the FTC Discord. So go friend, ATT hashtag 6949 on Discord. Yeah.
Yeah. We might tag him in the description. I don't know. Depends on how I'm
Nah,
feeling.
you have to tag him.
Okay, I guess I have to.
Wait, actually,
Alright,
You
here.
have to.
I'll plug this
and then
in
you're.
as well. Plug this in.
I'm not gonna plug anything. I'm only plugging Anthony. You're not cool enough, Michael.
I'm only
All
getting
right,
1,000 messages, and you guys yell at me for 6,000.
All right, but Anthony, let's go back to First Global. What do you think? How do you think you've grown and changed as you've done the process of First Global? Because it seems like a pretty huge accomplishment, and you've probably changed in a lot of ways. So, do you know how you've changed?
Wow, that's a good question. I gotta think about this.
I hate to be a psychologist, but I want to ask this.
Okay, so one of the ways in we've changed is that like through this virtual work over the summer, our team. Well, actually, it wasn't strictly virtual work, and that was part of why it was beneficial to us. So previously, our team had been virtual, but over the summer, we like as COVID got better and better, we were able to like meet together a few times. And here, I'm just going to describe a little bit how our team grew. So I think when you're fully virtual, your team doesn't have that much spirit. But when you're together and working on a project like in person, hands-on, that's when your team really grows and bonds. And yeah, so our team really grew in that aspect over the summer.
Nice. And Michael and Isaac, have you guys grown? Because like it's grown and changed when you've been coming back in person for robotics when you joined the team.
I feel like I've grown because I need to start actually getting more organized.
Yeah. and I don't know, your organization skills may have been improved. I'm not sure about that, but
No, I still procrastinate.
yeah, we can talk about IRP. We can talk about it. All right, but
I
that is
gotta
gonna be
discipline these new coders.
for those who don't know, Michael and Isaac, I'm very close friends with them, so that's why I'm making some talk with them. But that will conclude the whole this first segment of today's podcast about First Global. Anthony, thank you for talking a lot about it. If we can have Michael and Isaac actually participate and talk about some freight frenzy strategies. So I guess the first thing before we even get into the bulk of the coding, we should talk about how the robot was just designed in the first place. So, actually, we can just start in chronological order when you first learned about the season. So, what was your first impression? And if Michael and Isaac, if you hadn't joined at this time, Anthony, you can take this. What was the first impression when you first saw the
Rover
Freight Frenzy
Ruckus.
season?
Rover Ruckus.
Exactly that. So basically, I don't know if okay, do you know what Rover Ruckus is?
Yeah, we do. Or
Well, I don't know if
know.
Aayush does. But basically, I'll
it's
explain
possible
it
that
for
the
Aayush.
wider people who are watching don't know what it is.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I'll explain it for Aayush and the people who are watching. So basically, Rover Ruckus was my second season in FTC, and it used the same materials like the white and gold minerals actually they were called minerals, but now they're called fright. But they used the same game elements, and so that game was really interesting. That year was when like gluten-free really popped off, and yeah, that's just a short summary. Yeah, and also another thing is so Rover Ruckus is really similar to Ultimate Goal, to be honest. They had like the minerals or frights, as we call them now, all stored up in the crater, and they also had like a lander where you like deposit the minerals. And to be honest, I feel like these are really similar seasons, because you like get something off the ground and put it into a higher place. Only difference is you can only hold in that season you can hold 2 at a time. This season you can only hold 1 at a time. Also in this season you have to go completely in and out of the warehouse in order to collect the fright.
Right, so your grain strategies would just be very similar to the ones that you did in Rover Ruckus.
Yeah.
All right. And
For those who don't know, just to clarify, Rover Ruckus was the FTC challenge for the season from 2018 to 2019.
Yeah.
So I'm a rookie member, so I didn't know that, but now I know. So that's cool. What are some robot design considerations you initially had, but then you dismissed it? Or did you have just basically the same robot idea as the Rover Ruckus season?
Well, for this season, there is like a barrier. So like you have to get in consideration of going over it or like going through it. Placing the freight. I'm pretty sure Skystone season had like a linear slide. You have to like place it on top of each other. This season is different. There's like different levels and stuff. There's a lot of things to consider when designing the robot.
So generally speaking, I guess, what are some future, I guess, design ideas you aim to like add to the programs, or it's like problems that you want to solve, something like that?
I guess we want to like make our cycles faster, both in autonomous and driver controlled period. So I guess we want a linear slide that can reach further, and we minimize the movement between warehouse and outside of the warehouse.
And do you know who I think has mastered that? 7172. Have you seen their autonomous? Oh my
Yeah.
god, it's crazy.
They have indeed mastered it. Yeah.
It was so good. Oh my gosh.
The crack.
However, you can probably always improve. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a 7172 is just
So I think this is more of a coding question, but how was, I guess, the implementation and your ideas of like odometry in your autonomous? Because like this year this year we have the barrier, and I think that's like a major, I guess, bottleneck in the capabilities of like path following algorithms such as like Roadrunner, and how did you guys, I guess, deal with that?
Yeah, just use drive wheel encoders. They're actually fine, contrary to popular belief. So like they're fine. Like drive wheel encoders, they're really not that bad.
All right. What do you think was the largest challenge to the design of the robot? I think you talked about the barriers. Would that be the largest challenge?
I'm not a hardware person, but I know that we had to fix a lot of our subsystems to make them more high clearance.
I
Our
think-
intake was moved a lot, and so was our outtake, so that we could fit over
I
the
think our
barrier.
main problem was the intake. Our scrimmage, we've got like a negative 150 round because
Oh
we
yes, you were telling me
had
about that.
two
Right?
freight in a robot. So our challenge, I guess, was intake because we needed to figure out something that could only fit one and still efficient at the same time.
Right, and I guess you resolve that as your outstanding performance in the robot game. What we're like now we're going to go on to more of a coding, which I think all of you specialize in. So this is obviously going to be a little. You guys are going to know more about this. So initially, what were the strategies that you used to code the robot?
Like what were the strategies we used to code the robots? Well, essentially, okay. I can have one concrete example of what strategy we used. So within our code base, we have everything segmented as a subsystem. So so we have like this giant robot class, and then this robot class instantiates or calls like other subsystems. And within the subsystems, you have your subsystem constants, initialization, and movement, whatever functions you want to provide to the subsystem, like your intake. And then this way, if you want to change something about the subsystem, instead of like hunting around for the subsystem code, you just go into that class and change whatever you need to because it's right there.
Gotcha. So the next question I kind of have, it's more like toward Michael and Isaac, but how have your coding abilities grown over the season? Like, what have you, I guess, learned, just generally speaking?
I learned a lot about OpenCV this season. Like in the beginning, I was tasked with making the pipeline to detect the TSC, and I really struggled with it. But I learned a lot through watching YouTube and asking people on FTC Discord and obviously Anthony. And I really learned like how the pipeline works, how to tune it and everything.
I learned a little bit more about like Roadrunner because I've been doing autonomous, so I guess Roadrunner has been a major part of what I've been doing.
Wait, so how many coders are on your team
5
in total? 5.
Five.
Okay. So how did you? I think one of the what the audience would like to know, or viewers would like to know, is how they could like present their coding in the best way possible in their ENP and their engineering notebooks.
Okay, so I can speak on this, having had to write tons of entries over the years. So I started off maybe like 5 or 4 years ago, and my entries back then sucked because basically all I would do was copy paste a ton of the code I'd written and provide like 1 or 2 sentences of description. But that's not what the judges want. Okay, the judges, they like, you can't assume that they know how to read code. So you either have to supply pseudocode or just like give a really succinct explanation. So one way to kind of do this is programmers, they should document their code in generals. Like when you write a function, write a description of what that does. And you can kind of use that and put that in the engineering notebook or portfolio to give the judges a better understanding of what your code is doing. And you have to elaborate on like what it does and why it's useful.
I do some work on the engineering portfolio. Actually, when we talked to on a previous episode, we'd actually talked to one of the judges, the leading judges in NTX, and what they told us was just we have to like basically providing it in the most accessible way possible will be the easiest way to earn rewards, and I think that this is just a testament to that ideology. So I guess the final question that we have for y'all today is a little bit of a fun one. You guys can go on a tangent with this, but what is the craziest experience you've had in the Freight Frenzy season? I actually, as a matter of fact, this is a very subjective question. So we're gonna have Michael share, and then Isaac share, and then finally Anthony. All right, Isaac, you can go first.
Okay, so crazy experience, huh? It's probably during the qualifier, actually. I'm pretty sure you guys know, but like our autonomous kind of went crazy. And then our robot for our first match, our autonomous completely screwed up because one of our motor encoders wasn't like working. It wasn't plugged in. So basically autonomous didn't work, and we got like a lot of penalties, and our claw broke, our TSC broke, and then I think we went negative that match actually.
Yeah, I think it's like negative 83 points. I'll elaborate on it because it was hilarious and sad. Okay, so not only did our claw break, our TSC also broke, and the reason why our claw broke was because our autonomous managed to pick up that line shipping hub with the claw, and then it like knocked it over in autonomous. And yeah, that was pretty funny. And then what else? Yeah, and then we drove over the team shipping element and broke it. So yeah, and just a little bit on the cause of that. So basically the cause was that one of the encoder's cables was loose because the hardware people, they screwed in a plate too hard, and that somehow just messed it up. And then the encoder cable wasn't reading. And I don't know why it took us so long to find it, but we've learned a valuable lesson. So basically our pit crew program now prints out all the encoder values so that like we know when it's broken or not reading.
Yeah. So let's put the blame on hardware people because they're not here to defend themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Hey.
Hey, we can't. If we put the blame on anybody here, then they can defend themselves, and that's we don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anthony, what do you think is your craziest experience you've had?
I would say this is pretty much that. Yeah. I mean, if you want me to say another crazy experience that I have, sure. So like during the scrimmage, craziest part was probably setting like the record for the lowest score at the scrimmage, because we like intake 2 blocks and then our driver just didn't realize, and we had it in for like quite a while. And so our drivers learned that like you need to do something if the ref is like yelling at you and waving their flag at you. And second of all, this can all be avoided if you simply make an intake that can only intake 1 block, which is what you later did.
And are there any drivers in the podcast right now?
No.
Yes, so we can blame it on somebody who can't.
Me and Isaac were. Yeah, let's just blame it on Isaac.
Yeah,
okay, it's Isaac's fault.
I'm a fan. It's Isaac's fault.
Yeah. You're on the drive team.
Oh, that's right. He is on the
drivers.
But like he's
if you had placed
really
the
basically
ducks
our
correctly,
team.
the autonomous would have worked, Isaac. Why didn't you place the duck correctly?
What?
Yeah.
You should have placed the duck correctly, Isaac. Otherwise, your autonomous would have worked.
Aarush, nobody. I don't think anybody gets it. That's okay. We'll just move on from that awkward pause.
Sorry.
It's okay, Aarush. It's okay. All right. So, Michael, what was your most memorable experience?
I think it was like the scrimmage one, but I guess also at the scrimmage I scored like just by myself. I got like minus 60 or 90 points off in total for like major penalties, because like one, I forgot to wear safety glasses, and waved his flag, and the other one was like I placed a duck too early after autonomous. That was like another 30 points off, and I think I got like one more, but I forgot what it was.
It's okay. It was your first like tournament
Yeah.
kind of thing. So.
Yeah,
Michael, you should have blamed it on somebody not on this call.
Oh yeah,
Mistakes need to be made for people to learn. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I'll blame it on you actually.
Blame it on me. Yeah, for sure.
No, actually, I'll blame it on Aayush.
Yeah, this is my fault. I agree.
Yes, I approve.
Yeah, even though I wasn't there, I just like I possessed you and I made you choke. Obviously.
You trolled me too hard the night before.
Yeah, you could say that.
See,
And then,
now the
and then
logic
when you
all
told
checks
me,
out.
I
The logic
can't
checks
remember.
out.
Yeah, Michael, I can't remember. Once you told me, did I clown you?
What?
Did I?
clown me?
I can't remember what I said. I'm pretty sure I was just like, "Wow, you're so." I'm pretty sure I just said "Wow" because like, it's
You
okay,
sent me
Michael.
a bunch of weird YouTube videos. That's what you did.
Wow, that sounds like Aayush.
Okay. Yeah, it makes a little bit more sense. But Michael, I think that since you didn't blame it on anybody else, we're gonna have to blame this on you. I know you tried to blame somebody else. You tried to blame me. It was outlandish, but I think this is your fault. It's okay. It's okay. We got to take it to heart, and we can move on next time, all right? As Isaac said, it was your first tournament, so it's all good. Also, you're cool. You're pretty cool. So like it's all good.
That's why I love you.
But on that high note, we're good.
On a bit of a tangent, completely tangent. How do you guys want to join Chassis Gang? Chassis Gang is it's a way of life, you see. So many pronounce it chassis, okay? But me and Aayush pronounce it as chassis, okay? You should join us because we are more accepting, okay? We are fine if you pronounce it as chassis as well, okay? But we are also accepting of those that pronounce it as chassis. It's a simple way of life. And so do you want to join us in this exploration?
I speak on behalf of the team. The answer is no.
No.
You're just bad.
No. That's not how things are
This
gonna work.
is not how the English language operates.
Go harder.
Yeah, the English.
It's a way of
language
life.
operates.
It's a way of life. You gotta
You are a classic
people,
chassis.
and we allow that. If you pronounce this chassis, that's fine. We're just offering you it here and now. But if you don't want to take the offer, choice is yours.
Unlike people who are adamant on saying chassis.
We gracefully decline.
I just need.
Gracefully. Yes.
I will do it, but I need Anthony's blessing.
You do not have my blessing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Why not?
Hey.
But you guys are like classic chassis. They're like adamant on saying chassis. You're not willing to accept chassis. But us chassis users, we're accepting to people who say chassis.
Now,
if anything, this just
I don't like that
highlights.
tone you're using. I don't like that tone you're using. That makes it like sound like we're not accepting. They
We
can
are
say as
accepting.
chassis. That's completely fine.
Average
Yeah, if you say chassis,
user
more power to
versus
you.
Average chassis user.
All right. Okay, so let me turn the interview around on you and ask you a question. What was your favorite part of the interview?
My favorite part was when Isaac, Michael, and me and Aarush just like I think it was at the end of the first segment where we all just started having very casual conversation. I think that's cool. And I think
My
that
favorite,
hopefully
of course, when we had a new member join Chassis Gang. Thank you, Michael.
No, I didn't join.
you said chassis.
I don't know if he has joined Chassis Gang.
Oh,
Okay.
I asked Anthony if I could, and he said no. So
why can't you make your own decisions?
he's my father figure.
Oh, okay. Anthony,
Okay.
do you accept him as your son figure?
Son figure.
He only sees me as a failure. Like, why don't you get stuff done?
I see him as a young child in need of discipline.
Yeah, that's exactly. I actually before this, I asked Michael, does Anthony think of you as a dumb 8th grader? And he was like, yeah. And that reinforced that.
That's pretty much it.
But I think that's going to conclude today's episode. Thank you, Anthony, Isaac, and Michael. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you all for being a part of this, and to the viewers, I hope you loved this episode. Obviously, it's a little bit more special because we actually like had conversation. But hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like. If you don't think this episode was good because Aarush started bringing up chassis, then go ahead and dislike the video. That's fine. And then if you have any future recommendations to what we should do in the future, leave a comment down below saying what the idea should be. And also, this is a reminder that the holiday special giveaway will actually be it'll be being continued throughout the end of January. So go to the holiday special video and leave a comment with which giveaway you'd like to enter, as well as your team name and team number, and we will be selecting a winner.
Yeah.
And now Michael and
on a
Isaac are
final note,
spamming me to like make them promote their socials. So the socials will be linked here. Follow all of that because Technic Bots is really cool, especially not Michael. No, he's not cool, but Isaac and Anthony, they're cool. So
bro.
I meant my like own personal socials, but yeah, team socials works.
yeah.
so I guess
I'm
on a
just gonna
more
do team
final note, do you guys have any piece of advice for other teams? Just any piece of advice, really.
Yeah, sure. So, basically, when you do robotics, there's three things that I see that you really need. So, first is dedication. Second is perfectionism, and the third is not being afraid of crazy ideas.
I think that's very nice advice. That's great to leave our the viewers off with. So thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you, Michael. We will see you guys in the next episode. Hope you have the great rest of your day. And bye.
Bye. I love you.
Yeah, thank you for having us on.